ఏడుకొండలవాడ వెంకటరమణ గోవింద గోవింద.
When did you get to know about this and what did you do, sir?
The quantities, the quality, the ingredients, and the methodology of preparation is all dictated by the Agam Shastra. So since last 4 or 5 years, I had been observing. So the laddu taste has also gone down. The aroma was not at all there. Most important is the shelf life has gone down.
Okay. Sit back, buckle up, and brace yourselves. This is Chennai Live 104.8, India's first and only digital talk station. Today, my friends, what we'll talk about is not only what Chennai is talking about, not only what Tamil Nadu or Telangana or Andhra Pradesh is talking about. We are talking about what India is talking about. We want to discuss and clarify what every religious Hindu is talking about. A symbol of trust and love today has become mistrust and loss. A symbol of faith has probably become icons of fraud. What has happened? There are lakhs of people who go to the Tirupati temple, standing in for many hours for few minutes of darshan and those sweet laddus that we cherish and bring back home. What we believe is blessed with love and good vibes. We also come to understand that it has lard, it has fish oil, and it also has the fat of beef. Now, this has shocked the entire nation. Everyone in the country in the past few days, we have been shocked. But there's one man who's not shocked by this because he knew about this a long time back. He tried to bring it up, but what kept the entire situation silent? It is people or politics or practice. We'll find this out. I'm so happy to have with me the former chief priest, Dr. Ramana. Vanakkam, sir. How are you, sir?
Vanakkam, how are you, sir? Thank you.
I'm good, sir. I must tell you that today, more than thinking about Lord Balaji, people are wanting to listen to you. They're like, what does Dr. Ramana have to say about all of this? Sir, it must be very disturbing for you, but also a sense of victory. It is a sense of victory that finally the truth has come out. You were not fighting for yourself, sir. You were fighting for the sanity of the temple, for the purity of the laddu is what you were fighting for. Tell me, Dr. Ramana, sir, as a chief priest, how did you get to know about this? When did you get to know about this? And what did you do, sir?
Om Sri Venkateshaya Namaha. The priest is called Archaka in Sanskrit, and who does Archana to the god. So I am coming from a hereditary family of priests, which has been in the service of the Lord since last 1800 years. I am the 36th generation in that family tree. And I had been in the service of Lord from 1974 when I entered the temple when I'm doing my doctorate in molecular biology. So the duties of a priest is mainly to look after the comforts of the presiding deity of the temple, be it bathing him or decorating him or taking him around the town for the darshan of the devotees, to feed him and to put him into bed. Everything is done by the priest. And most important of it is feeding him. The Agam Shastra, which we follow in the temple, says you must treat the god as your own child when you are bathing him and when you are feeding him. So in our houses also, in our homes, when we are feeding the child or the elderly people in our family, we take care that we give them good food, healthy food, non-adulterated food, and fresh food, tasty food. So that is my duty. So since last 4 or 5 years, I had been observing that the quality of the food has gone down. According to Agam Shastra, there are so many types of prasadams which has been offered to the god at different times of the day, on different days of the week, and on different occasions like Asthanam, the festivals and processions. So it is called Dittam. The quantities, the quality, the ingredients, and the methodology of preparation is all dictated by the Agam Shastra. What I have observed was the rice varieties like ghee pongal and chakrai pongal and kadambam, sira, all those foods were not of the quality as before. And the taste was also not there. The texture of the food was also not good. And as you know, laddu is the most famous prasadam of Balaji. Devotees love to take as many laddus as possible back home to be distributed to their friends, relatives, and neighbors as a token of their visit to Tirumala. And by that, they will be spreading the blessings of Balaji also to their neighbors. So the laddu taste has also gone down. The aroma was not at all there. And the shelf life, most important is, the shelf life has gone down. Previously, we could use the laddus for about 10 to 15 days, storing in our houses and use it. But within 2 or 3 days, the laddus are becoming rotten or fungus infested or sticky and watery. All those things happen. I was wondering what is the problem. Because the aroma was not there, I had a doubt that the ghee should be contaminated or maybe of a cheaper quality. So I was worried about this. I was pained also because to feed my God with contaminated food is a very bad thing for me, the worst thing for me to happen in my life. So I took this to the notice of the then executive officer of TTD and the then chairman of TTD Trust Board and explained to them the situation and requested them to rectify, to go into to investigate what is the wrong with the prasadams and what is the wrong with the ingredients and which ingredient is the culprit. And then see that it is changed for a better quality. But to my surprise, nobody responded. And it so happened I was doing a lone fight because my other priests, because of their own personal problems or personal interests, they were not supporting me. So my arguments were weak, and there was no action taken all these 4 or 5 years. And I was worried, and every time I take my food in my house, I was thinking of God having this contaminated food, and it was a very painful experience for me. So I was praying to him for a relief. Some way should be there to get rid of the problem. So he heard my prayers and the government changed in the elections. And even from the beginning, the devotees were also experiencing the same thing, decline in the quality, aroma, and shelf life of laddus. And even rice varieties, prasadams. And they were complaining also. But when the new government came, the complaints reached the government, and the government decided to look into the matter. And very surprisingly, when the ghee that was being used for making the prasadams were sent to a renowned lab and tested, very shocking results came out that it is contaminated with animal fat and fat from the plants like grains and some fish oil and all those things. I have seen the report because as a scientist I can
very
read the
disturbing.
report. So it is a very rude shock for me that animal fat is there in the cow ghee. The Agam Shastra says only pure cow ghee should be used for preparation of prasadams. And not only for preparation of prasadams, ghee is used in the temple for almost all rituals, starting from lighting the lamps in the sanctum sanctorum and doing daily havans to propitiate the gods and for the welfare of the world, mankind. And also during processions. So this contaminated ghee is being used for all these purposes, which is a very bad symptom. Now the defect came out. So immediately the government took action, stopped all the old ghee they sent back the ghee, which is contaminated, and started buying cow ghee from the government-owned, state-owned Karnataka dairies. It's under the brand name Nandini.
Yes.
So previously, also before 5 years, Nandini was supplying us the cow ghee regularly. Our requirement is about 16,000 kilos per day, because we make around 2 lakh to 3 lakh laddus every day, and besides the rice varieties. So now the problem is rectified, and we are making laddus and prasadams with the cow Nandini ghee only. And the government is uh, uh, appointing a special investigative team to go into the details why Nandini ghee was stopped, and then why local vendors were approached for supply of ghee.
Sure.
And who is responsible for this, and what is the reason for all these things.
Dr. Ramana, now there are two parts to this entire chapter, sir. One is the politics part of it, which I see a lot of politicians are comfortably using it to their strength. One is the people part of it, sir. And I can assure you, Dr. Ramana, the people today, all across the world, they are not worried about the party. First, they are thinking, who's the better politician? Who's the wiser party? Who's the cleaner party? Is stage 2, sir. Stage 1 is giving us back our Tirupati temple, the purity of the Tirupati temple. Steps are being taken. Wonderful people like yourselves, you all are leading the battle to give back the faith to the people and purify the place. We came to understand from the authorities that now, after certain rituals performed at the temple, the place is back to purity. The place is pure again. It has been sanitized, is the words used. Can you please tell me what happened to purify the place? And do you, being the chief priest, the former chief priest, believe that all the rituals have been done to purify the place, and today you stand by your conscience saying that yes, the place is pure now? It's exactly the way Lord Balaji would want it to be.
Leave alone my personal opinion on the rituals. The present chief priests, they decided to perform one ritual from morning 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, perform a yajna, Mahashanti yajna, to purify the temple in the Yagshala. So they say, they are of the opinion that it will cleanse the entire temple of the sins that has been committed in the previous years.
Well, your answer makes me question again, sir. They are of the opinion, and leave your personal opinion out of it. I want your personal opinion, being the former chief priest, sir. And people are listening to you today more than ever before. People will trust a chief priest and not a chief politician, sir. People will trust God's voice, not a politician's voice, sir. In your view, as someone who has lived and loved and continues to work for the betterment of Lord Balaji, do you think it has been purified, sir? I go back to my question.
Raising above the reasoning platform, it is what God wants.
Correct.
So, because unless God wants something to be performed, nothing can be carried out there in the temple. He is the boss, he dictates. So, probably I take it that way, that God wanted this Mahashanti Yajna only to be performed, make the entire temple sanitized, as you say. So, I take it that way.
If you are still the chief priest today, if you still have complete control over it, and politics that removed you, politicians bring you back, what would you have done? I want to understand that. Your laughter says a lot, and I want to understand your smile in words.
No. That is not the question now. That is not the question to be discussed now.
So tell me, Mr. Ramana, tell me a bit about, is laddu the only thing that you spotted wrong? Is the ghee the only thing that you thought was contaminated, Dr. Ramana? Or do you think there are other aspects as well which you brought up with the previous government and you feel that this also can be addressed? Because today the people want clarity. One time the followers have been let down now, sir. After years of faith, we get this news. It's broken hearts. It's not broken the faith still, sir. One more time something like this comes up, faith will be broken, sir. Do you believe there are other things that need to be looked at? And since we are cleaning up the entire system, might as well look at the other issues as well. I want your view on this, sir.
There is another connected defect I have observed and I have complained about also. The quantity of prasadams prepared and offered to the god, that is dictated by the Agam Shastra, and it goes by the ratio of the size of the idol, main idol in the sanctum, and the prepared quantity of the prasadams. So Agam Shastra dictates that. So what happened during Corona, because there are no devotees and no pilgrims, the prasadams may be wasted. That time government reduced the prasadams to be prepared by 50% of the original quantity. And that time also I objected, because that should not be done, because the dictum should be followed irrespective of the climatic conditions or any other disasters. But they did that. I requested them to revive the quantity of the prasadams as per Agam Shastra, but that did not happen. And even after COVID passed, the quantity was not revived. So I was worried about that also. That also I complained, but no action was taken. To the present government also I represented the same thing, that the minimum quantity of prasadams prescribed by the Agam Shastra should be prepared and offered. And it is only going to be distributed to the devotees in the queue line. The government took my advice and they started preparing prasadams as per the term. And I told them also, in the time of disasters or some uncontrolled situations, we can make more prasadams also. There is no upper limit for making prasadams. We can make as much prasadams and offer to the god and distribute to the devotees. But the government has taken that clue.
Fantastic. Very good. I'm sure a lot of followers are so happy to hear that
Yes.
the government is responding to you, to your
Yes.
good advice for the people and for Lord as well. Sir,
Yes.
I want to also understand a few different aspects of it, sir. Does it disturb you that the media, people, and the press at large are politicizing the issue, sir? Do you think the previous government is to be blamed? Do you think there are individuals who had the seat of power is to be blamed? Who's to be blamed for that? And does it disturb you with the political turn that's going in? This party versus that party, rather than Lord and the people?
Let me put it this way, my own way. Whenever there is a true devotion to our gods, to our temples, to our Sanatan Dharma, to our ancient traditions, then there will be sanctity maintained in the temple. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Achara paramo dharmaha, dharmasya prabhurachyutaha. That is, Achara means the traditions of every temple should be protected, should be maintained that way through generations, and then handed it over to the next generation as it is, as it was. So whenever there is pure devotion, there will not be any controversy about all these things which are supposed to be very private, very sacred issues of the temple. Unless there is a natural disaster like a famine or a storm or an earthquake or a war or like that, which is not under control, the situation may change. But under normal circumstances, the sanctity of a temple should be maintained, and the people at the helm of the government or at the helm of the administration, they should have belief in Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma, our ancient traditions and practices, our Agam Shastras, and finally the God. So
Absolutely.
then it will happen naturally. If the true devotion is not there, this type of disasters occur.
Dr. Ramana, are you amazed by the attention that you've been getting in the past 1 week? Because you are never a man to take the limelight. You always offered the limelight to the Lord and you were so happy in devotion. Today you have cameras, questions, and your motto is to give Tirupati its divinity back, to give it purity back. How has
Yes.
your life changed in the past 1 week? Please tell me that.
No, it is no. Yeah, I'm used to the camera and I'm used to the media because always during festivals or even during even daily rituals, I media people ask me to explain the
Hmm.
situations according to Agam Shastra. What it is, whatever little I know about the Shastra and the divine rituals going on in the temple, I spread it to the devotees so that they can understand, and because there is no other person who is there to explain to them all these things, and there is no time for the devotees also. They are always searching for accommodation or
Hmm.
darshan tickets or laddus and return tickets and all that. So at least through media I am able to pass on to them whatever little knowledge I have, so that when they come to the temple next time they can involve
Understand
themselves
more,
more.
faith
Yes,
with logic, yeah, faith with
yes,
and science, and
yes.
faith. So science and you go a very, very long way, Dr. Ramana. You are a doctor, you understand the science of so many things. What is the connection between religion and science? Is religion scientific as well, sir?
Definitely, science is also a religion, but for higher minds. It's a higher science for higher minds. I will give you an example.
Please.
See, we know there are microorganisms, bacteria, diatoms, and cylinderates, all those animals which are not visible to the naked eye. You need a telescope, a compound telescope or a dissection microscope, whatever. You need a microscope lens to look at the microorganisms and to understand the existence, to understand that they exist along with us. And in the other way, we know that there are stellar objects, there are galaxies, there are nebulae, there are star systems, there are planets, which you can't see with your naked eye. You need very powerful telescopes to look into the space and to understand the existence of the galaxies and star systems. Very similarly, we know God is there, but to experience God, you need have to not the physical equipment, but you must train your mind to experience the presence of God, to the divine force, who is the creator of all this creation. So
Hmm.
that way, religion or spirituality is also higher science for higher minds, trained minds.
Fantastic. You are the microscope and the telescope for us. Through you, we get a much closer understanding of the Lord. Sir, what are the other ways you would say for those who say, that science is very different? Religion is purely faith passed on from our forefathers. Science is what in the lab, is what you see, what you touch, what you feel, what is proven. Can you give me more understandings? Because very often you are termed as the scientific priest. Correct, sir. So what are the other ways you would say that religion and science are nothing but one? One is in the lab and one is in the heart.
See, if we believe only in our physical senses, you can't understand God. When you believe that there is something metaphysical, something beyond, because almost all famous scientists like Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton or Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci, they believed in the presence of, in the existence of a higher superhuman force guiding them. Maybe
Correct.
you call it in different names in different countries, in different languages, and in different religions.
Universe, energy, power, whatever. Yeah.
Yes. So when you come out of the shell of your physical existence, you can experience the metaphysical.
Fantastic. So very, very well said. I mean, it's an educational lesson more than a question and answer interview. But Dr. Ramana, for the people who want your clarity, how should, or in your opinion, how should the followers or the people who want to go back to Tirupati, is it the right time to go? Is it time for us to forget the past and now after this, the authorities say it is clean, it's clear, it's sanitized, go there? What is your message to the lakhs of followers who want to go to Tirupati, sir? What is your message to them? What should our mindset actually be? Through the Lord, give us your message, sir.
It is not the question of you wanting to go to Tirupati. It is the
Mm.
question of he calls you to come and have darshan. So when he wants to give you darshan, you will be wanting to go to Tirupati. That is how God works,
Correct.
especially with
Correct.
Tirupati, that is a 100% a fact. So only
Mm.
when God wants, He will give a darshan. He will be coming, and of course, now the pure ingredients are now back in the kitchen.
Mm.
Now the prasadams are pure and offered to the God. People can have darshan anytime, but now they can buy the laddus with confidence now.
My last two questions to you, Dr. Ramana. What is your role today for the Tirupati temple? And do you see yourself getting back into a more aggressive or active role by the request of the current party? Do you see that happening, sir? And are you open for that as well, sir?
See, my ambition or my purpose of
Hmm.
my life itself is to serve Lord Balaji. I am born into that family. I am a born priest, and with His grace, I did my doctorate. I refused my postdoctoral offers from Western countries, and I preferred to be a priest to continue the hereditary system. And there's nothing aggressive or anything like that. I look after God's comforts. And if there is anything, I complain to the persons who are there to rectify them. I bring it to the notice of the people who are there in the administration. And I will continue with my services to the Lord. That's all.
I can tell you on behalf of the people, sir, whether it is the south of India or it is pan India or the world, very often in India we have conversations that bother the south, doesn't matter to the north. Some matter to the north and it doesn't affect the south. This is something that's united the country as well, sir. And there is no better purpose, there's no better cause, there's no better reason than the Lord Himself. The Lord has brought one voice to the nation. The entire people are together to find out the truth and betterment in unity for a purer place. And I think that has happened. There is a reason behind everything, and maybe this reason also, by the grace of God, is a positive thing as well, Dr. Ramana. And my final question to you: some people sit back and say that to go to Tirupati is life's great blessing. But today the crowd is so much. It has become so difficult to reach the idol for a few seconds of worship. Would you say that commercializing the place or commercializing the laddus, is that the right direction? And what is your advice for a better experience? Everyone wants few seconds of divinity. It's your wish, it's our wish as well. Do you think the method that we are doing can be bettered, sir? The experience can be bettered, sir, in front of Lord Balaji?
I request the devotees to come to Tirupati only to have darshan of Balaji and have his blessings, but not to show off their status and richness and their connections with the government, and to having recommendations and all those things, and coming quite often, very frequently in the VIP lines. That by consuming the time of the general devotees darshan. So
Mm.
let them come at wider intervals, maybe once in 3 months or once in 6 months only. not every week or every month or every full moon day or like that. There is nothing like that. To have darshan once is enough to charge you for your entire life. There is no use in having frequent darshans just to show off. So that is my sincere request, and for them to consider the poor devotees also who stand in queue lines for hours together and then have just pausing 2 seconds darshan. So at least let us give them a few more seconds of darshan so that they will be satisfied and their long wait in the queue will be fruitified.
I'm sure that's what Lord Balaji also will want to give everybody equality, give blessings to everybody. Thank you, Dr. Ramana, for being the voice for a lot of people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much for your for you coming out, speaking to the people, calming the people. Today, do you think a final question, sir? Do you think people are in a panic mode, or do you think people are now calm and we are waiting for Lord Balaji's call to us, or is there something we need to stress about? Because your words will be like very, very good verses of faith and religion for them. What do you have to tell the people, sir,
The
across
entire
the world?
incident is not a panic, but is painful. It is painful because many families take Balaji as one of their family members.
Absolutely.
I myself treat God as my grandfather. I call him Tata only. I call him Tata every time I speak to him. I call him Tata so is feeding your own kith and kin with contaminated food is very painful and distressing for anybody. So now that distress is over, we are using pure ghee to make prasadams and offering to the god. So nobody should feel pain, and they can be assured of everything.
And those who were involved in all the impurifications of foreign elements in the ghee, whether it is authorities who were irresponsible and allowed this to happen, whether it was manufacturers, what would you like to see? What do you think is justice, sir?
That God will take care of. We need not worry about that. We need not about it. It is Newton's third law. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Fantastic. For every blessing, there is a wonderful smile. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramana. Your time has been my great blessing. You have given us so much insight. You've given us so much awareness. And I can tell you our conversation has made me and my listeners and viewers feel a lot more blessed. And it's not a question of panic. It's a question of patience and faith, which we will follow your footsteps. Thank you, Dr. Ramana. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you,
bless you. God bless all the viewers.
Thank
Om
you,
Sri Venkateshaya Namaha.
Om Sri Venkateswaraya Namaha. Thank you, sir.